It now being 2 o'clock, we can call the February 18th meeting of the Laconia Police Commission to order. Do please rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll let the minutes show that Executive Assistant Laurie Marsh is present. I'll roll call Commissioner Davis,
Here.
Commissioner Mello,
Here.
Commissioner Horton is present. We have a quorum and we will proceed with our agenda. Moving on to personnel matters, accommodations and awards. Chief Canfield.
Nothing.
Resignations and retirement. Chief Canfield.
Nothing.
Promotions and classification changes. Chief Canfield.
Nothing at this time.
Moving on to the command staff reports. Support Division, Chief Canfield.
So Captain Grayton is not here, he's on vacation. Lieutenant Noyes is filling in his spot. For support, they've been very busy working on the new round of applications for some grants. This includes the storage building that we've been seeking funding for a number of years to protect a lot of our equipment, as well as a lot of grant maintenance that they have taken place to maintain grants that are in process. All of the new cars that we received from last year's CIP are online with the exception of one that is currently at Ospey Mountain Electronics this week and should be on the road hopefully within the next couple weeks.
Question. Where would the building go?
Where the current impound lot is,
In there?
in the back corner.
Okay.
But essentially, we could take all of our, right now, we're storing evidence outside. So we have vehicles outside there waiting for trial. They last a year, year and a half, 2 years outside, and by the time we present them at trial, they're all rusted and dilapidated, as well as any other large evidence items, and then storage for a lot of the outdoor equipment, whether it be the camera trailers, the radar signboards, the motorcycles, that kind of stuff that sitting outside, just, we could extend.
How big are
these.
we talking?
What's that?
How big?
I don't remember the exact size. I want to say it was like 80 by 40, something in that.
Steel?
That range.
Is it a real steel
Yes.
building? Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
yep.
Moving on to Operations Division, Chief Canfield.
Lieutenant Norris will cover that one.
Sled dogs went off this past weekend, no major issues. The missing dog that was missing from Friday was found Monday morning, or Monday afternoon, actually, on Pearly Pond. Two of the recruits have finished in-house, the two that were sworn in the other day. They actually started this week on field training, one of which will just need to take the law package and finish the FTO. The other will be going to the academy in May, I believe. The three recruits out of the academy are doing well. They're all scheduled to graduate April 24th. The CALIA reviews were all completed for 2025 that were needed through the Operations Division. And the proposed bike week schedule is almost complete, as well as the summer rotation, just making some final tweaks as to what we'll have for personnel and where we want to put them.
When you have your, question, just, when you have the people that are graduating from the academy there in April, plus you got the two that are, one's going just law, one's going through, that's four. What will that bring you as far as staffing?
So if I'm not mistaken, that replaces,
That brings us to 3. So we have 3, we'll have 3 openings after
You
those.
still have 3 openings
Yes.
afterwards.
Yep, and we've got
Out of
several.
what, 45, right?
Correct.
Okay.
do you know anybody?
No, I'm all set, thank you.
No, do you
I'm
know
sorry.
anybody that wants to work?
I'm too old.
How are those figures compared to like other departments as far as openings? I mean,
We're doing very well as far as openings go. I mean, it varies across the state, but there are many departments that are much worse off than we are.
SP is really off, right? I mean, I heard numbers like 60, 70 people off.
Yeah, I think that's probably around the range that they're at. I haven't heard an updated number recently, but that's the number that they were hovering at. I know I was talking to the Portsmouth chief a few nights ago, and they're hurting for people as well. They were looking at changing some of the way they do things, and he was looking for ideas from us as to what he could do to retain people. So it's a challenge everywhere.
And one more question along that same line. I know last year, from the city council point of view, we did some things to try and help. Is that something that we should reconsider again?
I think we're doing okay right now. You know, I think our vacancies we have now, we had Detective Orton retire. One of our recruits didn't make it through the training program, so he got done. And then we had Detective Butler, who recently retired. So those are our current openings right now.
Okay, so it's more of a, if you fill those, you'd fill those from within. Well, the detectives probably from within, then you recruit from the bottom up, back up again.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to commission action. Acceptance of minutes of the previous meeting.
I make a motion, we accept the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion made by Commissioner Mello, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Passes unanimously. The meeting minutes are accepted as distributed. Moving on to out-of-state schools.
There are 3 requests before you that are out-of-state schools. The first one is to send Officer Tyler Rouse to the Taser Master Instructor School. This is out-of-state, this is in New York. The cost being, the tuition is, I believe that they're gonna comp us on that because that's through Axon. We do a lot of business with them, so I think they're gonna comp us on that. So we'll just have to pay for his meals, which are about $500. He is originally from New York, so he's able to stay at his parents' house for the week. So there won't be any cost for that. By making him a Taser Master Instructor, he'll have the ability to create instructors, so we can create our own instructors in-house and not to send all the instructors out of state. The next one is a request for myself to attend the FBI Academy retrainer. As you know, this takes place every summer. This time it's in Ontario. And then the last request is to send Robin Moyer, our accreditation manager, to the CALIA conference, which is being held in Tucson, Arizona.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we accept as presented with the out-of-state schools.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It passes unanimously. Motion made by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Mello. Out-of-state schools are approved. Moving on to the review of monthly activity reports. Department monthly highlights, Chief Canfield.
It's early in the year, but we're showing that our calls for service are up 26%. Of course, that's only taking into account the month of January. But for the month of January, we responded to a total of 2,022 calls for service, conducted 155 park walk and talks, 456 extra patrols. We conducted 10 community policing events. We investigated 300 criminal incidents, clearing 186 of those by arrest, 103 of them being physical custody arrests. We took 17 people into custody for intoxication. We responded to a total of 28 domestic disturbance calls, which is almost 1 a day. We responded to a total of 48 other disturbances, investigated 6 suicidal subjects, 9 violation restraining orders, and our volunteer services unit continues to volunteer their time. They volunteered 8 hours for the month of January. So we remain busy as always.
I got a question. They don't have no more police officers at the basketball games and stuff like that?
There was an issue with, I think, the school funding for them, so they requested to not have the details there anymore. I think it was temporary. They were hoping it was gonna be a temporary.
Yeah, they didn't think they were gonna run out of money, and we got a call about halfway through the season where they had to make cuts, and that was one of the places where they decided to cut. So we're still on call whenever they need us. We try to do, stop in whenever we can.
That concerns me. I mean, and, so they had to make some cuts. I know that because they came to us looking for some money for this and things. Can I maybe ask maybe for next meeting, or if you can get me the information, how much cost we talking? Okay, I mean, is it just the basketball games, or is it for the other school events where we want somebody?
Typically, we've always staffed the football games and the basketball games. We can get you a cost
I
of
just
what
like
that
to
would be.
understand the cost, so if I'm in front of the council and the school board's here, I mean, I think that's something important. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but look what happened in Providence again.
Yep.
Okay, or anything else like that. And, I mean, the first thought crossed my mind was a school resource officer, but I know he's there during the day.
Yep.
Okay? But I mean, and I was always hungry for extra duty, so, if this, I just like to understand the cost, because I think that's something that, if the school department's gonna start cutting that, I'm gonna have an issue with the school department, not you.
Oh, my
With the school
preference would be that there will be police
Somebody
details
there,
there.
right.
We don't have the ability to put someone there on shift. We already dedicate the 2 school resource officers, they come off of the road to be in the schools
be
as
there, right.
school resource officers. But I agree with you, it's the visibility at the basketball games, the deterrent effect, but then you do see issues that pop up there from time to time, so.
I mean, it's just, how many times you see on TV or somewhere, the parents get into a brawl, because they don't like the call the referee made, okay, or whatever it is, okay? Visibility, and if you're gonna come back and tell me that the cost to cover it for the year is $5,000 or $10,000, I'm gonna have an issue with the school department, because we all know here, I mean, if you need $5,000 or $10,000, we can find it.
Yeah, we'll get you a cost of what that would be.
Okay.
This was a last,
I don't want mean to interrupt, okay, I'm just.
No. That's a good point, well taken.
Well, the reason is because of this last situation in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Right.
And that's what brought
But,
this.
but it's not just that, it happens periodically, you don't hear about it, okay, and I think we're lucky in a way that we don't hear it, but you never know, I mean, the rivals get on the court, even you see the NBA, the pros are going at it, they're having a boxing match in the middle of the.
Yeah.
this was a last-second thing that Cousins did not want to do. We had been talking about it for almost a month beforehand. We had sent it out to officers explaining, and he said, "This isn't what I want to do." He goes, "We gotta make cuts," and so.
I don't
'cause
disagree.
Last thing he wants to do is have to go into the stands, because that would be his responsibility now. And he
Oh,
said
no,
that,
you don't
and
wanna
that's
go
what
in the
happened in
stands.
Franklin.
No way, you're going to stands, you're opening up Pandora's box.
Yeah, but if something happens, he
What do
would
you
be
do?
that person that's responsible, calling us and then reacting, so.
I'd rather go to the city manager and say, let's find whatever the dollars are, make sure the school gets it, however way we do it, or we just fund it directly to you, however it's done, and make sure it gets done.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
The criminal investigative unit statistics, Chief Canfield.
Lieutenant Noyes will cover this one.
So there was 10 initial cases for 2026. There was 9 follow-up cases, as well as 7 search warrants and/or juvenile petitions. 2 cases were unfounded. There was 11 less sex offenders, and I think that might just be timing of when they register, because I don't think we've lost that many sex offenders, but that's quite a bit of a drop. Computer-related cases, there was 3, cell phone extractions 4, background investigations were the same at 1. There was no knock and talks or field interviews. There was 4 drug intel sheets, as well as 8 hours of patrol that was covered, 5 polygraph exams, which was up quite a bit. Training hours were right around the same with 80. Community presentations, there was 1. No money was recovered. Redactions were right around the same. And there was a significant increase in the TLOs, which is basically the information to download off of a phone to find out who subscriber information is. There's also 22 hours of community outreach. So, but those were the highlights.
How many of those statistics center around the homeless population?
For detectives, probably not as much. My guess would be more your community meetings, Down at the bottom, your outreach hours, those sort of topics, but the top part is not gonna really be centered around the homeless. That's
Homeless.
gonna be more in the patrol, the operations division. Support's gonna be your you know, meetings with navigating recovery, all of those outreach services, so.
I have a question for you. Regarding the homeless, I know that we had issues for a long time, Rotary Park. Where's the hot spot now?
Well, I don't know if there's a hot spot. When it tends to get colder, there's a lot more people that will open their homes and stuff. As the weather gets warmer, you're gonna see more of an influx. Everybody's gonna say where they all come from. There's a lot more services available in the winter where people are like, you know, they don't want people outside. But that doesn't mean that it's reduced the number as much as it's kind of displaced it a little bit more to certain locations. There's a lot of warming shelters that are open during the day, some in the evening, depending on when the temperatures drop. So there's a lot more disbursement, I guess you could say. So there's not really as many hot spots as they're just smaller crowds. As the weather gets warmer, you'll see more of an influx where people will hang out longer periods of time, and they'll be in much bigger groups because the weather allows it.
I know that Councilor Hayes is told me there's quite a few out behind his house. That's state property, if I remember right. Okay, that's
Yeah,
top
there's a
of
line
Addison
up there
Street,
that
right?
kind of divides. We've been up there a couple times to address it, but some of it's state, some of it's Belmont. It's kind of a funky line that
Right.
goes up there.
And then Hounsell Avenue.
So
That's
I haven't
Guilford.
heard of any on Hounsell off the bypass.
Right.
There
They
used to
can
be,
pop
but
up.
there isn't anymore.
It's what?
There used to be.
Yeah, they can pop up pretty quickly.
Anywhere.
It doesn't take, 1-2 days, it can pop up, and then it just gets bigger, and once we get notified about it. But more so if it's on, Laconia city property as opposed to, a lot of the private land that you see. And they're getting further and further away from Laconia
Look good.
too.
I know that this morning on my way to the gym, downtown gym next to you, okay, the waiting line outside of Isaiah was quite long. So you wonder about what's happening there, so that's all. Okay, thank you.
Moving on to budget printouts, Chief Canfield.
Budget's looking pretty good this year. I'm sorry, we're still working on getting you a different report that's a little bit easier to read than this report. But the budget is on track, and we're looking good that way.
Monthly traffic statistics, Chief Canfield.
For the month of January, we issued a total of 23 parking tickets. We investigated a total of 43 motor vehicle accidents, 6 of those which were with injury. We issued a total of, we made a total of 394 motor vehicle stops for the month, issued 14 summonses and 351 written warnings.
Questions, comments? Hearing none, moving on to Chief's report. Chief Canfield.
So year-to-date, we've had no drug overdoses. We've had no drug overdose deaths, so that's a good sign on that front. Not that the drug problem is removed, but that the drug problem has shifted more towards meth, where we don't see the overdoses as much. I attended a presentation of the Special Olympics at the New Hampshire Chiefs Association this month. It was very informative, and they're appreciative of the work that we do. We have the Winnie Dip coming up the beginning of March, and then we'll be participating in the Special Olympics torch run leading up to the Summer Games down at UNH. Spider Tech results for the month of January, we sent out a total of 1,187 text messages. Our survey completion rate dipped a little bit to 18.8%, but still not a bad completion rate for surveys. If I attached the January 1st through December 31st for last year, the annual review of the Spider Tech software, which is the messaging system that interacts with callers on many different levels. For the year, we sent out 17,081 messages from January 1st through December 31st. There's certainly a lot of information in there, so I'd encourage you to take a look at it. But something I wanted to draw your attention to. If you look at one of the questions that the survey asks is, how satisfied are you with the professionalism of the communications personnel with whom you interacted? So 81% were very satisfied, 12% were satisfied, and 3% were neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. So that's 96% of the people that received it or responded to the survey were happy with the police services for the communications that were conducted. And then if you look at the next page, how satisfied are you with the Laconia Police Department response time to calls? That again is very high percentages, along with the professionalism of Laconia police officer that they interacted with. That was at 90%, 97%, and another 2%. So we're at 99% of the people were very satisfied with the professionalism of the Laconia Police Department. So I think that speaks volumes on our department and how we deliver police services in Laconia.
What's the rate of return on this? Do you have any idea?
On the surveys?
Yes.
I think it usually hovers around 25%.
25.
This past month dipped down to 18%, but it's usually between 20 and 25%.
That's decent.
It is for survey completion rates, and
Yep.
speaking with the company, they say that we're one of the higher departments that they do as far as getting surveys completed in return, so.
Yep.
And that's, out of 17,000 text messages, that's a pretty significant number that we're basing that on.
You'd probably make an assumption that people who don't respond are probably okay with what happened, so. Otherwise,
That too.
you'd likely hear from them, so.
Yep.
The ones that give you a negative response are just common negatives all the time.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes in this business, you're not gonna make everybody happy
Right,
necessarily, but we do have a survey on our website that we get results from sometimes too. If they leave a name and they're not satisfied, I personally call them back and find out what the issue is, and most often it's just misunderstanding the process, or they simply didn't like the outcome of a case, and that's not dictated by us. We recently held a promotional testing process for lieutenant and sergeants. The sergeants' process will be wrapped up the beginning of March with their interviews, so we'll be looking to make recommendations for promotion to lieutenant and to sergeant in the month of March. We'll be participating in the Hewitt Career Fair, which will be held May 8th. We'll be setting up our recruitment booth there and just interacting with some of the criminal justice students and anyone else that wants to attend. We worked with the Pleasant Street School this past month, helping them conduct a safety drill. We were there and provided feedback. I just want to notate that our dispatchers, myself, and I think several others participated in the responding to and investigating bomb threats and what they call swatting. Swatting is done usually by the phone. It's usually from third world countries, but a lot of the information doesn't add up. And typically, an example would be there's a shooting at the school, and they want to see a large-scale police response to it. So it's kind of hard to decipher a real incident from a fake incident or a swatting call. So that was really good training that all of our dispatchers attended. I attended myself, and I thought it was well done, put on by the FBI. The last thing I have for you is to make you aware that there's a Chiefs Leadership Certificate Program through the IACP that I'm going to be submitting for. It's a Chiefs Leadership Program. It's got some information on there. It's 3 different modules, but I look forward to doing that training. It's virtually, it's online. So right now it's a new program that they're doing, and they hope to roll it out in the next month or 2. So they've pre-registered me for it.
Nice.
And that's all I have.
Questions? Moving on to old business. Old business?
Nothing.
Okay. New business?
Nothing?
Other business?
Can I go back just one second? Maybe I missed it, but one of the out-of-state schools is for Detective Adams to go to Nashville. Did I miss that, or
That was last month,
last month?
Yep.
Okay.
and that was completely funded by the COSUP grant.
Yeah, okay, 'cause that was in here, so, gotcha.
Yep.
Citizen comments. Confirmation of the next meeting date, March 18th.
Yep.
Hold on 1 second.
Good.
That's good.
Hearing nothing else, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second,
All in favor?
right?
Aye. Passes unanimously at 2:25 PM.